and I'm back with another video. First, excuse the mess behind me. This is my messy corner over here. This is my work area, and I have a bunch of weird stuff behind me. There's cardboard because when I ship my paintings, I put them between cardboard, so there's a bunch of just stuff laying here. Back to what I was talking about. So we talked about cultural blocks and religious blocks a little bit. Now let's talk about past life blocks. A lot of us, everyone really, carries past life trauma. I call that soul PTSD. We all know what PTSD means, post-traumatic stress disorder, and you can carry past life post-traumatic stress over into this life. And that can be problematic, especially if you want to develop your intuition. And in past lives, you have been made to feel unsafe when it came to using your intuition or trusting your intuition. A lot of us right now that feel this call to develop our intuition, that feel this interest towards mystical, esoteric topics or just spiritual development, witchcraft, paganism type of stuff. You've always been interested in it, but you never felt like it was safe to talk about it, and that's a very subconscious thing that I'm talking about. Subconsciously, you felt it's not a safe thing to talk about because when you look at history, let's look at Lemuria, Atlantis, just European history and Native American history, all these different places all around the world. Let's start with Lemuria, just a quick esoteric history lesson. If you're watching this, if you're taking this class with me, then you will most likely have had lifetimes in Lemuria and or Atlantis, and you may or may not be aware of this. But the Lemurians were extremely spiritual. They were the very first Earth civilization that was here, that was purely Earth people. We were seeded by our cosmic families, and before the Lemurians were settled here, there were certain ET races that had settlements here and there, such as, for example, Hyperborea. You've heard about this probably in like Siberia and like the North Pole, but that was supposed to be a race of giants, but they came from the stars, but they were not human beings related to Earth. And then we had other different races that came and went, but then there was the plan to seed Earth, and the Lemurians were created. And the Lemurian race is the very first race that was committed to Earth and Earth's ascension process, really. And that's why a lot of us are coming back to do this again. But what happened is that for years and years, the Lemurians were extremely spiritual and in tune with Source. They had an active telephone line to Source. And what happened then is that it became dangerous to be intuitive because there was also Atlantis. And Atlantis was the same way, founded with good intentions, but at the end there was this clash with Lemuria, and they were not really logical enough and grounded into the logical mind to really compete with the Atlanteans, who at that point had both in balance. So the Lemurians perished, and but then the same thing years later happened to the Atlanteans. There were basically two type of Atlanteans in the end, the good ones and the bad ones, but that's a very third dimensional narrow-minded view to look at it. The thing is, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, so those were lessons that collectively had to be learned. So what happened is that a part of the Atlanteans were supposed to really push this logical mindset growth, the need for power, And the part that was trying to hold on to the heart-based teachings, the heart-based way of living, the intuitive way of living, were the ones that ended up um, getting defeated in the end. And so you still may carry these wounds in your DNA. And then, of course, but that is on a very subconscious level. But then there are the more recent lifetimes, such as being a Native American that is in tune with nature, living in tune with the planet, living in tune with source energy, creator. And then there are, of course, the women who were passing down their intuitive knowledge in European countries, and with Christianity rising and the patriarchy rising. Of course, it was also looked upon as a demonic thing to do, that you were basically communicating with demons if you were open about being spiritual, or if you were caught being intuitive. Like I said before, the middleman, if you left out the middleman and were claiming to be talking to God directly, then you were a witch and you would have been burnt at the stake or drowned or stoned, all these things. And many of you may not remember these lifetimes consciously, but that does not mean that you don't have soul PTSD. You may have post-traumatic stress at a cellular level energetically, and you're not aware of it. And if you're one of these people that was nervous when you were a kid, and you were nervous to speak in front of the class or read in front of a class and you would stutter, or it was your turn to speak in front of a group and you would just freeze up and not know what to say, you would forget everything you'd rehearsed. Or if you're just one of these people that at social gatherings would get really nervous, and the moment all eyes were on you, you would you would freeze, or you would feel extremely nervous. And then later you would be like, why was I like that? There's no reason to be scared. There was no reason. And you would literally feel like your life was in danger the moment you got attention. That is a very good indication that you have soul PTSD. And especially once you start discovering that you have this need for spiritual development, that you have this pull towards all things mystical, and you find that you have this battle going on within you. Like one side of you really wants to discover this part of you, this side of you, and wants to talk about it. And then there's another part of you that is really scared to be open about this stuff, to talk about this stuff. But the thing is, what is the worst thing that could happen in this lifetime is that people would disagree with you, or they might mock you. But is that really that bad? Then you could just say, okay, well, we don't agree, but it's really not that big of a deal. But the thing is, your soul is going to link being intuitive, being open about your intuition, being true to who you are, with potential life-threatening danger. That's what your soul is going to, because that's the memories that your soul has. So what we need to do, what I had to do, because this is truly coming from my own experience, from the experience of other people that I've known over the years, that I have done mentorships with, that I have taken courses with, that I have become really close with, um, people that I really consider sisters on a soul level, that I have grown with over the years spiritually, that have gone through the same stage of trying to basically heal the soul PTSD. And maybe you are already kind of on your spiritual path and you feel this urge to maybe even offer services, spiritual services to other people. Or maybe you feel like you just want to talk about this stuff to family members and friends, but then something is holding you back and you feel extremely anxious and maybe unsafe. And the good thing to do then is to just tell yourself, like have a conversation with yourself and repeat, I am safe. Just repeat, I am safe in this lifetime of ascension. I am safe in this lifetime of ascension. Because in this lifetime, you are here with a promise from source energy that you are indeed safe. You basically signed a contract before you came in with a guarantee that you are safe. You would never have agreed to be born again in this lifetime of ascension if there was even the slightest opportunity of it not working out in your advantage. That is what I truly feel for the collective, for all the light workers, all the spiritual people that came in this lifetime. I truly feel that we needed guarantees, that we asked for guarantees, that Source gave us the guarantees that we would always be safe. And like I said before, you do not need a middleman anymore in this lifetime of ascension. That is an old pattern that our soul still remembers. That if we took out the middleman and we communicated directly with Creator, then that would result in us being killed, us being mocked, us being extremely, maybe like they would consider you an outcast, and in the worst situations they would publicly humiliate you and kill you. Like I will share some past life experiences that I have seen because I have done a lot of regression work. I have had a lot of spontaneous memories come back because I work with the Akashic records, and also because I've been having these memories for years and years now. And you may have had memories, you may have had dreams. The way to know that these are actual memories is the emotional aspect of it. If you feel emotions that are so real that you cannot ignore them, then it was truly an experience, then it's a memory. It very much feels like a memory, like from your childhood, or when you think back of something that happened in this lifetime, but just from even earlier, from before that. It just feels like a memory from just like you would have memories now of this lifetime. The best thing to do, even if you don't think if you think you don't have any past life blocks, that's probably because you're just not aware of it, because you're not remembering it. But the thing is, we all, if you are spiritual, we have these blocks. And once you start working with clearing, once you start working with remembering, it's going to come up and you're going to suddenly see that you are changing. Little by little, you will see that you're changing. And even if you have no specific memories come up from lifetimes, you're going to feel lighter. You're just going to see that your demeanor, your attitude, that you are shifting. Um, I know so many people who have done so many classes, taken so many workshops, retreats, courses, spiritual development work for decades. I know people that are in their 50s and 60s and they still don't feel like they are good enough, like they are worthy, because they have this idea that they need this middleman to communicate. And a lot of the time, these people actually have past lives as priests or nuns, and they feel like they are always unworthy because that's the conditioning that they received. Or the opposite, they had lifetimes as healers and witches and shamans. And what happened is that they were told that they were lying, that they could never be communicating with Creator directly because you need a middleman. And that is the idea in their head that they ended up dying with in that lifetime or in those multiple lifetimes, that they were liars. And then you have a true soul post-traumatic stress wound that is stuck and that has not been resolved, because then you end up going to the other side with this wound, and you do go to some sort of like a sick bay on the other side, where you heal from the trauma, you heal on a soul level, and then you go to another lifetime, but then you're meant to tackle that wound, that block, of course. And we carry so much over into the next lifetime, into the next. This is the lifetime that we have come to dissolve all of that old karma. And this is the lifetime that you can truly be yourself again. It is safe to be intuitive. We're going to repeat some affirmations, and the best thing to do is to just say it with me, or write it down, or make some affirmations on your own that sound good to you with words that you like. What you could do, for example, because like I said earlier in one of my previous videos, the best thing to do is to record it in your own voice, because your subconscious mind is going to remember it way better if it's hearing its own voice. But you can also listen to my voice or find other affirmations on YouTube, as long as you just repeat them every day, listen to them every day, so that your subconscious mind starts to overwrite the existing thought patterns that are in your head. And the things that you can say are, I am safe. It is safe to be intuitive in this lifetime of ascension. Just repeat stuff like, I am always safe wherever I go. It is safe for me to be intuitive in this lifetime of ascension. In this lifetime of ascension, I am always protected. My psychic abilities are always protected. You can call in ascended masters. You can call in archangels, like we've talked about before. There is no middleman needed. You are not unworthy. Everyone, literally everyone, is invited to work with the ascended masters, to work with the archangels, to work with creator directly, source energy. And the few really good ones to call in are Archangel Metatron of the Central Sun, who oversees all light workers and all people that are here for the ascension. Archangel Michael, of course, who is here and stands for to assist us all, and he stands for clarity, he stands for truth, he stands for courage. So he is perfect at just clearing all your blocks. There is, of course, Mother Mary, a female ascended master, who is here for compassion, compassion for the spiritual journey, for the ascension journey, compassion for yourself too on this process. Forgive yourself for not always knowing that it was safe to be intuitive. Forgive yourself for not speaking up when you were younger. Just compassion for others too, for not understanding you because they don't know what they don't understand. Compassion for everyone involved. Right now, I am going to guide you through a quick clearing session. This is just a quick compressed version of something that I will be offering later in future offerings, and just kind of my own twist to what I learned during my own mentorship with one of my mentors, Beth Catherine. She is a healer, intuitive, spiritual business coach, and I trained with her for about 6 months. And she basically initiated me into working with the blue and violet ray frequencies of Archangel Michael and Saint Germain. And working with her shifted everything because she works a lot with clearing statements. And what are clearing statements? They are basically calling in the frequencies of the violet flame and of the blue ray. Those are Archangel Michael and Saint Germain's frequencies. And I would also say Archangel Zadkiel, who is all about transformation and transmuting. So the thing is, when you have blocks, when you have energy that is stuck, the best thing to do is indeed use affirmations, but also clear every day. And it almost seems too simple to be true. It's almost like, okay, so you just listen to these statements every day, or you repeat these statements every day, and all of a sudden you're going to be better. And it's actually that simple. It is that simple, and you don't have to be in some kind of complicated meditation. You don't have to be super deep in meditation, because your higher self will hear you anyway. So in the beginning, it may be good to watch this video and be fully focused, be fully present with the statements that I'm about to make, to have your eyes closed and to be really present in receiving all of this with your whole body and energy. But the thing is, if you are going to be listening to these statements every day, then after a while, you could probably listen to this while you're doing the dishes, while you're just cleaning up around the house, while you're in your car driving or doing whatever, folding laundry. You can probably, after a while, just have them in the background because your higher self is going to pick up on it. If you say yes, the universe says yes back. And if you let the universe know that you are willing to clear, release, delete, transmute blocks, cultural blocks, religious blocks, past life blocks, if you are saying yes, then the universe is going to say, okay, let's do it. And if you're just listening to this while you're doing the dishes, you're saying yes too. You're saying as yes just as much as you are saying yes when you're in deep meditation with these statements. So basically, these are also kind of affirmations, but they go a little deeper. These are truly clearing statements where we call upon Archangel Michael, we call upon Saint Germain, and the difference with affirmations is that you're just reprogramming your higher self, but this is truly inviting in the blue and violet ray frequencies to give them permission, because everything is free will. You are giving them permission to completely shift your whole being, to completely clear your whole being, to completely release any blocks, to delete any blocks, transmute any energy that isn't serving you, and turn it into energy that is going to be serving you and your divine path. So for now, if you want, if that feels right to you, sit somewhere and close your eyes and just listen to these statements and just repeat yes internally, or just feel into the statements. And let's call upon Archangel Michael, and we call upon Saint Germain, and we also call upon Mother Mary for compassion for ourselves and for everyone involved in our life. So, wherever you are feeling unsafe in your body right now, and it may result as physical illnesses, or it may result as just not feeling grounded, we are calling upon Archangel Michael and Saint Germain to clear, release, delete, and transmute any feeling of feeling unsafe in your body across all time, dimension, space, and reality now. Anywhere where you feel like you don't have enough evidence and therefore you shouldn't trust your intuition, we are calling upon Archangel Michael and Saint Germain to please clear, release, delete, and transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality the feeling that you don't have enough evidence and that you shouldn't trust your intuition. We are now calling upon Archangel Michael and Saint Germain to clear, release, delete, and transmute any feeling of being anxious and not being who your soul wants you to be. We are now clearing, releasing, deleting, and transmuting that feeling right now. Anywhere where you are feeling like you're only right if other people agree and understand you, we're now calling upon Archangel Michael to clear, release, delete, and transmute that feeling across all time, dimensions, space, reality now. Anywhere where you are feeling anxious or nervous about speaking your truth when it comes to your inner knowing, we're now calling upon Archangel Michael and Saint Germain to clear, release, delete, and transmute this across all time, dimension, space, and reality now. Any witch wound trauma that your soul is still holding on to subconsciously, we are now calling upon Archangel Michael and Saint Germain to clear, release, delete, and transmute any witch wound trauma that your soul is holding onto across all time, dimension, space, reality now. We are calling upon Archangel Michael and Saint Germain to please invite in energies that will serve our highest good, that will activate our telephone line to source. And why do I always say clear, release, delete, and transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality now? Because time truly does not exist. Everything is happening right now. We are in every dimension at the same time. So therefore, we are clearing blocks across all times, clearing blocks across all spaces, dimensions, and realities, because there is only the now moment. And that is why we are doing this. And it seems too easy almost, but if you watch this video every day, or if you would like a written transcript of this, let me know and I will email it to you so you can say it out loud to yourself. You can, or you can record it and just listen to your own voice saying these statements to yourself, or you can just watch this video or listen to this video every day. And if you do this every day, you will start to feel safe in your body. You will start to feel like you have all the evidence, and you should absolutely trust your intuition, like you can absolutely be who your soul wants you to be, like you have every right to be who you want to be without having the need for other people to understand or agree with you, and that you can safely speak your truth without having to feel anxious about it, and that you can trust your inner knowing, and that the witch wound trauma can be released completely, because in this now moment you are safe in this lifetime of ascension. So I hope that this will be helpful. This has truly been one of the most important tools that I have used in my journey and in clearing my own past life wounds. I was going to tell you guys a little bit about my wounds, and I think it's good to share because it's really important that you see where I came from. I was the child that was afraid to speak in front of my class. I was extremely nervous about talking to strangers in a group setting. I would stutter in the class whenever I had to say something out loud or read. I would stutter incredibly. It was horrible. um, there in the beginning of me trying to be open about my spirituality and actually offer spiritual services, I would not have my picture online anywhere. I would definitely not be making videos. I would definitely not be recording meditations. And what I did was I posted on blogs anonymously under a different name, and I would definitely not have my name or picture up or any personal information. And I was not working yet with clearing these blocks or anything. But then little by little I started showing my picture up there. Little by little I started making podcasts. Then I started making videos, and now I am doing what I do. And has it always been supportive? No, I do have people sometimes that leave weird comments, but I am in a position right now where I know that that has nothing to do with me, that they are triggered by something that I am saying. So I can basically, I also don't spend time on that. I'm not even going to interact usually. I just delete it and block it. I don't have time for that in my energy. So yeah, and some of the past life experiences, because that's basically just this lifetime. But those things, those fears, the stuttering, the speaking in front of people, come from several past lives that I spontaneously remembered or in regression. Of one lifetime where I was stoned to death for being a midwife in the Middle Ages, for a natural birth midwife. where I was assisting women with herbal remedies that were delivering babies. And then I guess it was kind of towards the end of the Middle Ages where they weren't really approving of those methods anymore. So they basically came and dragged us out of our practice, and we were stoned to death in the middle of the town square. Then there's another lifetime where I was thrown off of a bridge with a heavy chain around my feet, and I was thrown off of a bridge that was over a river, so I drowned for being a witch. That was during the Inquisition. There's multiple lifetimes where, yeah, there's just a bunch of those experiences, a bunch of those lifetimes. Oh, yeah, then there's a lifetime in Atlantis where I was a male priest working with the Violet Flame. That is why I still work with Saint Germain, because I have been working with this frequency in past lives. And I was basically experimented upon by the not so friendly Atlanteans that were all about developing the logical mind, and they were trying to basically hack my brain to see how psychic abilities could be monitored, could be basically, yeah, controlled, and see how they could somehow measure it and apply it in a to a machine, so to speak. And of course, that didn't work, and I died. So it has not been safe for my soul to feel like it is safe to be intuitive, and I had to overwrite all of that stuff. And if I can do it, because I know that so many of you have this potential to be the best version of yourself, to completely be in connection to source, to know that it is safe, to get rid of all this trauma that your soul is holding on to. And that is why I want to help you. That is why I'm offering this free little thing that has been way more longer already. It's already more than I thought it was gonna be. It's probably gonna be about 2 hours of video material altogether, but I still want to do this for free. And I will be diving deeper into all these codes that I carry, the Lemurian codes, the Atlantean codes, the Druid codes, the Christ consciousness, Essene codes, because the Essenes, the group of Jesus Christ, was extremely metaphysical, and a lot of these people are returning. And I know that I hold these codes and I can activate these codes for you. And if you're watching this and you feel like this is really helping you, I really hope that this little course is going to get you going on your intuitive development journey. And if you feel the call to dive deeper with me, there will be options later. So stay tuned. There will be options later to dive deeper, because if this is something that you want, then I would love to work with you to truly go deeper into these Akashic codes that you carry that I want to unlock for you.